Well, good afternoon, everybody. Laurent, thank you for the introduction. I'm going to be speaking about Serbia. We've been working in Serbia for about 3 years, and in the last 2 years we've completed approximately 10,000 meters of diamond drilling, and we're on the point of announcing a resource. Going to be making a few forward-looking statements, as you're presumably aware. So, by way of background, Serbia is a really good place to work. A lot of good historic work was conducted in Yugoslav times that gives us a really interesting and good database of information. As I said, we've been working there for two years. We've been drilling for 2 years, and we've defined a zone of mineralization now that's about 700 meters east-west by about 250 meters north-south. It's right on the top of the hill, and it runs at a grade of, it says 3 grams on this slide. It's actually closer to 4 grams. And it's on this basis that we will shortly be publishing a mineral resource estimate. I'll explain that a bit more on a subsequent slide. We've completed 2 rounds of metallurgical test work, and we can recover about 90% of the gold. The resource estimate will either be issued this year or early next year, latest January, and we believe this will bring about a significant revaluation in our stock. We're funded under the terms of an option agreement with Fortuna Silver Mines, so this is obviously very good because there's no dilution at the corporate level. In terms of our capital structure, we've got about just over 95 million shares on issue, further 10 million fully diluted. Market cap's presently $7 million. Just to explain the chart here, if this is a pointer yet, this spike occurred last year actually during the drilling results. There was a change in management in the company. There wasn't much news flow. However, that's about to change. We're currently obviously down here, but we've got a number of catalysts that I'll explain to you. In terms of the major shareholders, Fortuna Silver Mines, which is also our option partner, holds 22% of Medgold itself. Radius Gold is a cash shell that contributed money towards a previous financing. In terms of institutional money, Plethora Precious Metals and Adrian Day together hold about 26%. We as management and directors just under 10%, which obviously leaves about 40% free float. In terms of who we are, I'm a geologist. I've been in the business about 25 years, about half of that in Africa and the other half in Europe and North America. My most significant success was the discovery of the Ali niobium deposit in British Columbia. We took it from 0 to 430 million tonnes for Taseko Mines Limited in 2 short seasons. Simon Ridgway is our chairman, a very successful and well-known Vancouver-based entrepreneur who's got a very long track record in the identification of prospective properties, financing them, defining numerous ounces of gold and then selling them on. Also very successful in this area is Mike Skeet. He's recently completed his term as the Director of Exploration Geology at Gold Corp. He's probably got about 15 million ounces of gold discovery to his name principally in Africa, Kilo Gold Mines, Banro Corp. David Hall is a seasoned explorationist. He was involved in the discovery, of Sukari in Egypt and La Colosse in Colombia and numerous other deposits. Jeremy Martin is putting a nickel project into production in Brazil. So a very strong geological board. Serbia is a great place to work. The infrastructure is really good. There's the capital city of Belgrade. Our property is down here in the south. You drive on a 4 to 6 lane highway pretty much all the way. It takes about 4 hours. The discoveries that you'll have heard of in recent times are all located in this Bor district, and there's more on that in the next slide. We benefit from a very efficient modern fiscal regime in Serbia, 5% royalty on precious metals, 15% corporate income tax, very clear permitting terms, a very functional ministry, and only 15% corporate income tax and no carried ownership. And of course a very well-educated workforce and low costs of operation. So just to explain why we're excited about the geology here, Serbia is situated at the western end of what's known as the Tethyan Belt, which extends from Central Europe all the way to Pakistan, where it gives host to about 250 producing mines. There's about 30 million ounces of gold alone in this area. I won't dwell on it too much. We're located just down here. This is our land holding. It's about 500 square kilometres. We collected stream sediment samples over it in its entirety, completed follow-up work, and we've identified these two key zones of mineralisation. And it's this area here, Barrier Liska, that I'm going to speak of for the remainder of the presentation. So the red here on the slide looks like a stake. This is our mineralisation. It measures 750 metres east-west by about 250 metres north-south. It's on the top of a hill, and it runs at a grade of about 4 grams. So now, while I need to be careful about the nature of forward-looking statements that I'm going to make, this is what we're preparing a resource on, and it should be over 500,000 ounces, probably closer to 600, and that will be at a grade of about 4 grams. You can see some, and every single hole, I should mention also that this is very, very consistent mineralisation. It's mineralised in every single hole. These intervals are quite representative, 30 metres at 5.5 grams, 38 metres at 4 grams. It's really, really strong. This is what it looks like in oblique view. The mineralisation is on the top of a ridge, so Mother Nature created it in a very favourable manner. It means that it can be mined very, very easily. It bodes very well for mineral economics. There's a road in this valley, it's shown here. There's a power line in the valley. That's what it looks like in section. So just to explain this briefly, it's the strongest mineralisation is shown in these broad yellow bars. It occurs along a structure. So this gives rise to mineralisation that runs a grade in the order of 5 grams. Everything above it, shown in this brown area, is also mineralised. So there's no waste. I'd like to move on to another slide and show you the same thing. That's 200 metres along strike, and again the same thing. High-grade mineralisation all the way to the surface. And that's what it looks like in long section. As you can see, the mineralisation comes to surface here. This would be a very, very good starter. Would be a very, very good starter pit. This is what it looks like. This is how the deposit was discovered in the first place in Yugoslav times. 2 seasons ago, we completed surface sampling in this area, and you can see the results of one of these here, 84 metres at 5.6 grams of gold. And for the geologists in the room, this is a breccia. The matrix is very rich in metal sulfides. That's what it looks like when you go there, very easy to work. This was our summer drilling season this year. And the good thing about Serbia is that once you have mineral claims, and provided you've secured surface land access, that's all you need. You can get to work. There isn't a complicated exploration permitting process. You can work. And here's one of our crews at work. Very, very easy to do what we need to do. So just in terms of some comparables here, I took a selection of junior exploration companies with a resource in the range of what we expect to see at Medgold. So I'm talking about more than 500,000 ounces and less than 1 million ounces, but a very, very high grade, what should be considered high quality mineralisation. So I'm talking about easy ounces at surface of high grade, 4 grams per tonne. Grade is obviously king. And on that basis, and some of these issuers have reserves as well, but as I've described, I'm a geologist, and I looked at each of these quite objectively in order to make sure that they were as comparable as possible. And what this gives us is an EV per ounce of 51 Canadian dollars. Medgold's current market capitalisation is $6 million. So clearly there's room for a lot of movement here upon publication of our mineral resource. So I urge you to follow us, to consider this stock for your portfolios, because there's huge leverage to the publication of value leverage to the publication of the resource, which is imminent. So in summary, Medgold's working in Serbia. It's a low-cost, mining-friendly jurisdiction. Prospective geology, there's more opportunity there. We're also looking in neighbouring countries. We're reviewing assets in Romania and Bulgaria to add to our portfolio. Mineralizations at surface. The gold recovery is very, very good. We will shortly publish a maiden mineral resource estimate. The work is funded by Fortuna Silver Mines. They're on the point of reaching their 51% vesting in the asset. Recovery is good, and there are a variety of further, whether Fortuna stays in this project is one option. Another option is that they would hand the project back to us, in which case there's clearly a very interesting privatisation opportunity here, and to take it to a small-scale mine. By that I mean probably about 40 to 50,000 ounces a year. We haven't actually completed any formal study on this, but the capex range for building a small mine here would probably be about $40 to $50 million. In turn to develop something that's probably going to have an NPV of about $100 million. So anyway, thank you for your time. I'd be pleased to speak with any of you who have any further questions. We're just outside there in the other room, obviously. Thank you very much.